Hey, welcome back. Now I'm here with the part 2 electricity for class 10th. In the previous video, we have studied some topics like what is electricity, what is electric charge, how a body get electrified and charged, and the theory of charging also is there. Where we read the example of glass rod with silk cloth. Initially, when glass rod and silk cloth are separate, they don't have any kind of effect. And but when we rub the glass rod with silk cloth, then both of them become electrified. So here I give the some more explanation about this. Like this is our glass rod and this is our silk cloth. Initially they have 5 electrons and 5 protons. Initially I suppose I let key there are the 5 electrons and 5 protons on the glass rod. Because we are know that an atom has equal amount of the electrons and protons, and initially we think that silk cloth had 8 electrons and 8 protons. So basically on a glass rod there are the 5 electrons and 5 protons, so net charge on glass rod is 0, and the silk cloth there is the 8 electrons and 8 protons, so they are cancel each other, and the net charge on silk cloth is 0. Now we think that the electrons are 2 electrons are transferred. Okay, so here the transfer of electron take place from glass rod to silk cloth. So the 2 electrons from glass rod are transferred on silk cloth. So now the number of the electrons on the glass rod are decreased by 2. So now the number of electron is 3 electrons, and but there is a no transfer of protons, so number of the protons is as it is 5 protons. Now silk cloth gain 2 electrons, so number of the electrons on silk cloth that is added, so that is becomes a 10 electrons, and number of the proton as usual 8 protons. Now, because the 2 electrons are transferred from glass rod to silk cloth, that is why there is a lack of electrons. You can see here now the number of the proton is higher and the number of the electrons are lesser here. So we can say that there is a lack of electrons. That is why become positively charged. Glass rod become positively charged because number of the protons are greater than number of electrons. So how many charge? Now the question is how many charge, how many positive charge this glass rod have. So number of the transferred electron is 2, and you can also see here there are the 2 protons are extra, so it contains 2 unit positive charge. Now for the cell cloth, because there is a 10 electrons, which is 10 is the greater with from 8, so there is a number of the electrons are much greater than number of protons, so that is why there is the excess of electrons. Excess means ज़्यादा हो गए यहाँ पे electrons, so become negatively charged. That is why the silk cloth become negatively charged now. And same question arise also ki how many negative charge is there. So you can see here 8 protons cancel the 8 electrons and the remaining electrons are 2, so it acquire the 2 unit positive charge. And we can see from here also how many charge are transferred. So there are the 2 electrons are transferred from glass rod to silk cloth. As you read in the previous class in class 9th in chemistry section, that if there is a transfer of the electrons and how many electrons are transferred, that atom acquire that amount of the charge and become an ion. So that is also similar in this case, ki electrons are transferred from glass rod to silk cloth. How many electrons? There is a 2 electrons, so it acquire 2 unit positive charge and it acquire the 2 unit negative charge. Now the next is properties of charge. So what is the properties of charge? We will start. So first is like charges repel each other. Repel means they are go away from each other. The like charges like plus positive and positive charges. If we are take two positive charge together, so they will move away from each other. And similarly, if we are taking the two negative charges together, they are going each away, yeah, apart from each other. Now the second is unlike charges attract each other. Unlike charges, the charges which are not similar, like one positive charge and one negative charge, so they are attract each other. The next property is electric charge is conserved. As you all are know that it is a electric charge is conserved. What is the meaning of the conserved? You already read this word in the previous class, like mass is conserved in the chemistry section. So what is the meaning of conserved? Means neither be created nor be destroyed. So electric charge is also like a mass. Like mass is neither be created nor be destroyed. So whenever you read this word conserved in physics or in chemistry, तो इट मीन्स नाइदर बी क्रिएटेड एंड नॉट बी डिस्ट्रॉयड, कि ना हम इसको बना सकते हैं और ना हम इसको डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकते हैं. सो हियर यू कैन सी बाय दिस डायग्राम there is a transfer of the gain 2 electrons, it gain 2 electrons and it lose 2 electrons, so net charge on the system is 0, so q equals to 0, so neutral state, so there is a transfer of electrons. Now the next point is electric charge is quantized. Electric charge is quantized. Quantized means what is the meaning of quantized here? So mathematically, charge is always perfect multiple of E. E is here the unit of charge, one unit of charge. So charge on one electron or one proton. So what is E here? E is charge on one electron or one proton, that is E. So basically we give the formula q equals to plus minus ne. I put the both signs here, plus and minus, plus for the protons and the minus for the electrons. So I put both of the sign here, plus and minus. Where n equals to 1 2 3, so n, where what is the n here? So basically n is an integer and you can know integer must be positive and negative, so we are taking the number of electrons or number of the proton. If you are asking about the electrons, then we say number of the electrons, and if we are taking the example of proton, then we are say number of protons. And what is the E? As I already mentioned, E is charge on one electrons or charge on one proton, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So we are already put sign here. So now we will take the value without sign. Now we will take this value without sign because we are already putting plus and minus here. Now the next property is charges are additive in nature. Additive in nature means ki they are add algebraically. We can add them algebraically, like simple when there are the 2 3 5, so we are doing the algebraically sum 2 plus 3 plus 5. So charges are also additive in nature because they are scalars. Now next is okay, so now next is additive nature of charge. That is our fifth point. So we will start with this key. What is the additive nature of charge? So charges can be added algebraically, as I already told you that charges can be added algebraically, like the simple charges, because they are scalars. So like additive nature of charge, there is a system of the charge. Here you can see there is a q1 q2 and q3, there are the three charges. So total charge is there. What is the total charge? Q equals to q1 plus q2 plus q3. So by the definition, consider a system which consists in number of charge, namely q1 q2 q3 q4 and qn. Then the net charge on the system will become the algebraic sum of all of individual charges, so like q1 plus q2 plus q3 up to qn. Now we can demonstrate it by one example. So example is the charge of a systems are 3 plus 3 coulomb minus ka 4 coulomb plus 7 coulomb minus 9 plus 2 coulomb. What would be the net charge of the system? So there is a system of charge which have the 5 q1 q2 q3 and q4 and q5, like key given है q1 equals to plus 3 coulomb of charge and q2 equals to minus 4 coulomb, q3 plus 7 coulomb, q4 minus 9 coulomb and q5 equals to plus का 2 coulomb of charge. So let net charge on the system is q. हम लोगों ने माना कि पूरे सिस्टम का जो चार्ज है that is capital Q. Then capital Q, by the definition we got the sum of the all individual charges. So q equals to q1 plus q2 plus q3 q4 and q5. Similarly, so we are putting the values with sign. Okay, so remember that point that we have to put the values with sign. So plus 3 minus 4 plus 7 minus 9 and plus 2 coulomb, we are putting all these values. By we are adding the plus plus and plus, so 3 plus 7 10 and plus 2 12 coulomb of charge, minus 4 and minus 9, so this is become minus ka 13 coulomb of charge. So net charge on the system plus 12 minus 13, so minus 1 coulomb. So this is the simple basic fundamental algebraically we are adding these. Okay, because you all are know that there is a type of the quantity, scalar and the vector. For the vector, it will be some different rule for adding and uh, subtracting the vectors. So that is called algebraically normal. Now the next is quantization of charge, which is the fourth property of the charge. We are already read that it is a multiple of electric charge, 1 unit of charge. So the principle of quantization can be used to calculate the total amount of the charge present in a body and also to calculate the number of the electrons and protons in a body. So if you want to know how many electrons and how many protons are there, that for knowing that we are using the quantization of charge, or to know how many charge are present on any body. So that is why also we are using this. So now we will take example, calculate number of electron in 3 coulomb of charge. Like a system has a 3 coulomb of charge, so then how many electrons are present on that system? So how we are going to find it? Like see, we already know that charge on one electron, we know that charge on one electron equals to 1.6 10 की power minus का 19 coulomb. I take a minus sign here because it is due to electrons. Now the next is, or we can repeat it by हम लोग इसको we can write it in a positive way, like 1.6 into 10 की power 19 coulomb of charge consist one electron. कि पहले हमने बताया कि एक इलेक्ट्रॉन पे इतना चार्ज है, हमने इसको रिवर्स कर दिया कि अब नाउ 1.6 इंटू 10 की पावर माइनस 19 कूलम्ब ऑफ चार्ज में एक इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है, बिकॉज वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. So now 1 coulomb of charge will consist. So how many electrons are there in 1 coulomb of charge? So we will divide it. So 1 is divided by 1.6 into 10 की power minus का 19 coulomb. Now the next is we have to find the electrons in 3 coulomb of charge. So we are take the 3 coulomb. So 3 coulomb of charge will consist. So we have to multiply it with 3. So 3 divided by 1.6 into 10 की power minus का 19 electrons. So next is what is when we are divide 1 by 1.6 into 10 की power minus 19 coulomb of charge. So we will get the value 6.25 into 10 की power 18. Now we have to find the for the 3 coulomb. So we are multiplying it by 3 and we are getting our answer 18.75 18.75 into 10 की power 18 electrons. So basically now you can see that we are using the formula Q equals to Ne for this calculation. So how many number of the electrons are there? The number of electrons are 18.75 into 10 की power 18 electrons in 3 coulomb of charge. Now we will take another example. So example is calculate the charge with nature on the nucleus of oxygen atom. So this time we have to find out the charge not on full atom, only on nucleus. Please consider this word that we have to find out charge only on nucleus of oxygen atom. So, nucleus is always positively charged due to the presence of protons, because nucleus has two elements. So, sorry, two particles, protons and neutrons. On neutron, we are already know that on neutron there is a zero charge, and on protons there is a positive charge. So, that is why nucleus is always positively charged due to the protons. Now next is number of the protons on oxygen atoms. So we are already know what is the atomic number of oxygen atom. So atomic number of oxygen atom is 8, and you are already studied in class 9 that atomic number is equal to number of electrons and number of protons. So number of protons on oxygen atom nucleus is 8. Next, we know charge on one proton plus 1.6 into 10 की power minus 19 coulomb. Net charge on oxygen atom nucleus. Q equals to Ne, where N is the number of protons, that is 8, and E for the positive, so we are taking the positive 1.6 into 10 की power minus 19. And we are going to multiply it, so answer is Q equals to 12.8 into 10 की power minus 12.8 into 10 की power minus का 19 coulomb of charge. So this now, so this is only on nucleus of oxygen atom. If he asking to you that what is the total charge on oxygen atom, then it will be become 0, because there is the 8 protons in nucleus and 8 electrons in the orbital. So that is why the total charge on oxygen atom that 0. But it nucleus has 12.8 into 10 की power minus 19 coulomb of charge. So thank you. I hope this video helped you. We'll meet now on next part.